Hello and welcome back to the deep dive. This week, we're doing something a little different. We are skipping the big flashy stuff.
Right. No neural networks, no talk about massive server farm.
Exactly. We're focusing on just one thing, and that is how to make you well, a radically more effective data analyst.
That's it. This deep dive is really tailor-made for anyone who's, living in that world of Excel, spreadsheets, SQL queries, and maybe dashboard tools like Power BI. We're going to be talking about Python, but not as some theoretical data science tool.
No, this is the practical stuff.
Pure hands-on productivity transformer. It's the ultimate upgrade to your daily workflow.
Okay, so let's unpack that because we've all been there. We've all felt those fundamental friction points in an analyst job. You're trying to run a complex transformation. Maybe you're merging 15 different customer files.
And Excel just starts chugging.
It starts chugging, or you hit that dreaded row limit. Or, you can pull the data perfectly with SQL, but then the actual manipulation you need to do is just too slow or too unwieldy to run inside the database itself.
That is the core challenge right there. Your existing toolkit, it eventually forces you into this manual, really time-consuming effort whenever you hit complexity or, vast amounts of data.
And repetition.
And most critically, repetition. So we know Python is the solution, and today we're zeroing in on how to actually apply it. We're talking Pandas, real-world automation scripts, a reporting example, and something I think is a real game changer, AI code interpreters.
And what I found fascinating, and this was confirmed by the sources we looked at, is the actual tangible benefit. A data analyst who has even basic analytics-focused Python skills they're demonstrably 3 times faster.
3 times.
In their daily tasks.
Yeah.
So that's profound. We're not talking about small gains here. This is career acceleration.
3 times faster. I think that's the mission statement for this entire deep dive.
All right, let's jump right into section 1 then. Why do analysts actually need Python? I mean, if I live and breathe Power BI and SQL today, why should I add another tool to my stack?
That's the question, right?
What are those specific friction points that Python targets that my current tools are just missing?
So Python really steps in as the heavy-duty engine for everything that happens after you pull the data or when your input files are, frankly, a mess. It's your scalable data cleaning assistant. It's your transformation engine for when the logic gets really intricate. Your automation tool and your super fast EDA helper. It's basically the engine that makes sure the data you finally feed into your Power BI dashboard is clean, structured, and ready to go.
Let's talk about those limits, though, because SQL and Power BI, they're incredibly powerful tools on their own. Where exactly do they fall short on the transformation side of things?
Well, they fall short because of their fundamental design. Excel, we all know, hits scale limits. It gets super slow with more than a few 100,000 rows. And it's so prone to human error when you're manually manipulating things.
Relatively.
And SQL is brilliant, absolutely brilliant for querying. But when you need to do complex string manipulations, like, say, parsing thousands of inconsistent street addresses, Python's libraries are just so much more efficient.
And what about Power BI? A lot of us rely on M in Power Query or DAX for transformations there.
And they're great for what they do. M and DAX are fantastic for modeling, for simple aggregations inside the tool, but they really aren't designed for computationally heavy lifting or the complex data reshaping that you need to do right after you extract the data.
Oh, okay.
Just try running like a complex fuzzy match or some kind of iterative cleansing in DAX. The logic gets convoluted and slow really fast. Sometimes it's just impossible compared to what Python can do with one imported library.
So Python gives you that computational leverage exactly where those other tools start to become, cumbersome.
Exactly. It handles the massive volume, the complexity, and especially the repetitive lifting that the others really struggle with.
And you mentioned repetition is the big one.
It's the analyst's biggest hidden time sink. Cleaning the same columns, combining the same files, generating the same report format every single month. Python targets that repetition for extinction. That's how you get that 5 or 6 hours back.
Which is a perfect transition to the core tool we need to master here, Pandas. When we say Python for data analysis, we're really just talking about this one library, aren't we?
For the most part, yes. Pandas is the foundation. Think about it. SQL has its structure. Power BI has DAX. Well, Python has the Pandas data frame. It's the core library for data manipulation. It's like Excel, but reinvented for speed, scale, and programmatic control.
So what does that look like in practice? For the analysts sitting at their desk right now, let's walk through some of those daily uses, starting with data cleaning.
Okay, so data cleaning. This is really where you see that immediate return on your time.
Instead of the endless scroll.
Exactly. Instead of scrolling through this giant, Excel file looking for missing values, Pandas just. It gives you these really specific, powerful commands.
Like what? Give me an example.
So, say you need to just get rid of any row where a critical field is missing. It's one command, df.drop df That's it.
Okay.
Or maybe you know that, well, any missing value should actually just be a 0.
Right. Like a sales number that wasn't entered.
Perfect example. So you just write df.filna 0, done. It's clean.
That immediately sounds so much less error-prone than manually filtering and deleting cells in Excel.
What about inconsistent text? Product names spelled 3 different ways.
Oh, that's the beauty of it. You use df.replace to harmonize all that inconsistent text. Imagine trying to fix 100 variations of New York in an Excel column. That's an hour of manual work.
An hour? Easy. In Pandas, you just define your list of bad values and the one correct value, and the script handles it across millions of rows in seconds.
That control is huge. Okay, next up, combining data sets. You always have to do this for a big report.
And it's so intuitive if you come from SQL, because it's modeled after SQL joins. You have your customer data, you have your transaction data. You just write something like merged, df1.merge, df2 on customer at how left. You pick the key, you pick the join type. It's fast, it's clear.
He also relies so heavily on filtering and grouping for, reporting KPIs.
Absolutely. And filtering is incredibly direct. If you want only the transactions from the South region, the command almost reads like English, DSD arrow region.
And for grouping.
Yeah.
The pivot table equivalent.
You just write df.groupbmonth, revenue.months. No clicking through menus. You just execute that short phrase, and boom, you have your summed revenue by month.
It's the efficiency of that syntax that really stands out. And then feature engineering, creating those new columns that actually drive the insight.
That's vital, yeah. And Pandas makes that effortless. To calculate profit margin, for instance, you just define the new column name, and then it's a simple math operation on the existing columns. DF profit margin, DF profits, D for revenue.
Which is way faster and more reliable than a manual calculated field in a pivot table that might break if the source data changes.
And Pandas helps you get that initial look, too. You run df.describe, for instance, stats on your numbers, or df.info to see data types and null counts.
So you go from messy SQL dumps or random Excel sheets to a fully structured, known format in minutes.
You're turning chaos into structure. That's the analyst's first critical step.
Okay, so Pandas handles all those microtasks beautifully, but the real leverage, the macro-level efficiency that comes from stitching those tasks together into scripts. Let's move to section 3, automation and time savings.
This is the critical jump. You're moving from using Python for one task to using it to eliminate an entire workflow. My rule is this. If you find yourself doing the same sequence of cleaning, filtering, and exporting more than twice, you need to be automating it with Python. That is how you get those 5 or 6 hours back every single month.
Okay, that promise of 5 hours back is tempting, but let me ask a critical question here. If I spend 3 hours writing a script that only saves me 5 minutes a month, that's not a good use of time. How does an analyst decide which repetitive tasks are actually worth automating?
That's excellent critical thinking. That ROI calculation is crucial. The tasks worth automating are the ones that are repeated frequently and are prone to human error. Think about the weekly data consolidation, the monthly standard report, the daily refresh of a complex data extract.
Right.
If a task requires you to open more than 2 files and perform more than, say, 3 clicks of manual cleaning, it's a candidate for automation.
That makes perfect sense. So with that rule in mind, what are the top 5 tasks analysts are successfully automating right now?
Okay, number 1 is the monthly report generation. Excel, PDF, whatever. Clean the data, calc the KPIs, export the final thing. Number 2, and this is a massive time sink for a lot of people, is combining multiple CSV or Excel files.
Yeah.
Getting those daily data dumps, you have to manually copy and paste.
Ugh, that manual file combining is a nightmare. You always run into slightly different file names, or the columns are in a different order, and you waste half an hour just getting it all lined up.
Precisely. But instead, Python uses a library like glob to scan a folder for all files matching a pattern, and then pd.concat just stitches them all together instantly.
Wow.
It takes like 5 lines of code to eliminate an hour of that manual pain.
Okay, what about the other 3 essential automations?
3 is automated report emailing. So the script sends the report out without you ever opening Outlook. 4 is cleaning huge data sets, the kind of scale where Python handles millions of rows faster than Excel can even open the file. And 5 is refreshing data extracts from SQL. The script pulls the raw data, cleans it, saves it, and that clean data is immediately ready for Power BI or Tableau. It bridges that gap perfectly.
Let's make this really concrete. Let's apply all of this to a single common business scenario in Section 4, auditing the monthly sales report.
The bread and butter of analytical work.
Right.
First of the month, your manager asks for the updated sales report broken down by region, with KPIs like year-over-year growth.
Contrast the manual workflow for us. It's just grueling.
It's so tedious. You start by exporting raw data from the database, then you're cleaning fields in Excel, combining the new month's data with last year's file, praying the file paths haven't broken. Building new pivot tables, maybe exporting a PDF, then manually attaching it to an email for 15 stakeholders. It's a version control nightmare.
Now compare that to the automated Python workflow.
It's one single script, end to end. Step 1, the script connects to the SQL database and runs the query directly with dfpd.readsSQL query con. Step 2, it does all the cleaning and transformations using Pandas so it's consistent every time.
And crucially, it calculates those KPIs accurately right there in the script.
Exactly. That complex logic, like calculating year-over-year growth, is defined once and it's perfect every time. DF YOY growth, DF revenue A, DF revenue A, no typos. And finally, the script can generate charts and export the final report directly to a specific folder, df.toExcel, monthly report, sales report.xlsx, index, false.
So instead of a 3-hour ritual filled with anxiety about broken formulas, the analyst just hits run on one script once a month.
And the job is done.
That is the moment. That's when the analyst feels that true, tangible power. You move from being a data janitor to an insights generator.
That shift is profound. You're now focusing on interpreting the report, not spending all your time building it.
Okay, so moving to Section 5, let's talk about the ultimate barrier reducer for analysts new to coding, the AI code interpreter. This feature in tools like ChatGPT or Gemini, it really is a game changer.
It absolutely is. It lowers that barrier to entry so much. If learning Python syntax from scratch felt like climbing a steep wall, the code interpreter is like your co-pilot and your mentor.
How does it work for someone who isn't a Python pro yet?
It's incredibly intuitive. You can upload any dataset, a CSV and Excel file, right into the chat. Then you just ask for what you want in plain English.
So just type, clean this dataset, remove the outliers, and make a monthly revenue graph.
Exactly that. You don't need to know the specific syntax for df.filna or group B right away. The AI processes your request, it analyzes your data, and it writes high-quality, efficient Pandas code for you.
But the real value is that it doesn't just give you the answer.
That's the key. It provides step-by-step explanations of the code it generated.
So you're actually learning the proper way to do things, idiomatic Python, while you're solving a real work problem.
Precisely. It's like having a senior Python developer sitting right next to you, 24/7, teaching you best practices. It makes the learning curve just so much more gradual and productive. It accelerates competence faster than any textbook ever could.
That is invaluable. You're boosting your skills without having to pause your day job.
The value of that instant mentorship, you can't overstate it. It makes that transition from Excel to Python so much smoother.
Okay, let's synthesize all this. What is the single key takeaway we want our listeners, the data analysts out there, to lock onto after this deep dive?
I think the key takeaway is strategic focus. You have to reject the pressure to immediately dive into, advanced machine learning, neural networks, scikit-learn, TensorFlow. Your immediate, undeniable professional payoff comes from mastering analytics-focused Python, specifically Pandas, data structures, and script automation.
Yes. Mastering those basic workflows, cleaning, grouping, reporting, that is what dramatically boosts your productivity, your speed, and your confidence right now. It's about maximum efficiency with minimum complexity.
Absolutely. And that leads to the final thought I want to leave people with. If Python automation is the key to efficiency today, we have to think about what's next. How will this rapid integration of AI tools reshape the daily workflow of the analyst? From the initial query all the way to the final dashboard, we need to consider how AI accelerates the need for Python mastery and what tasks might just vanish entirely in the next few years.
That's a fascinating thought to leave us with, the acceleration of the analytical workflow itself. Thank you so much for guiding us through the sources today and really showing how Python becomes the analyst's superpower.
My pleasure. It was great.
And thank you for tuning into this deep dive. If this discussion gave you some clarity on how Python can transform your analytical workflow, please take a moment to like and share this episode. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more insights. We'll catch you next time for another deep dive.